Pardon board is called back to order. The time is 4:46. Our next case is Mr. Donald E. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, would you please give us your full name and DOC number, please?
I'll go ahead.
10-20-53.
Okay, ready?
She said you got to sit behind.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then we're going to conduct a pardon interview with you. And at the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who wish to speak to have input. Here on your behalf on Zoom is Miss Alicia Francis, your cousin, Shirley Traynor, your aunt, Linda Taylor, your cousin, and Whitby Ross, your friend. We only allow 3 people to speak, so you'll need to decide who it is you want to speak. Only 3 of them will be able to speak. Also present is Curtis Stewart and Jimmy Thomas, who are friends of yours. In opposition, we have Mr. Bruce McMillan, Maria McMillan, who will be speaking, Reva Ford, Dolphus McMillan, who will be speaking, Brandy Mitchell, and Latoya Collins, who will be speaking. And after that, after those persons testify, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our process?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Donald E. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, DOC number is 102053. Date of birth is June the 12th of 1954. He's serving a life sentence for the charge of second-degree murder, having been sentenced on April the 20th of 1982. Mr. Mitchell, is that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Pete Freeman. He will begin our process of interviewing you. Will you please answer any questions he might have? Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Mitchell. How old are you, Mr. Mitchell?
69.
Okay, and how long have you been incarcerated?
42.5 years.
Okay, what's your educational level,
11th grade.
sir?
I got a GED.
You got
I
a
went
GED?
I went to the 11th grade. Yeah, I got a GED.
Okay, great. Okay, Mr. Mitchell, and today, I'm gonna tell you, today is to be honest,
Yes, sir.
okay? Tell me the truth. What exactly happened on that day?
Back then, me and my wife, we got in a conversation. We started talking. I just bought a pistol, but I ain't bad for her. And we ended up, and all of a sudden, everything got out of hand. And I shot her 2 times.
Okay. Did your wife have any weapon?
Talking about some men and women. No, she pulled out the drawer, but I don't believe she had it in her hand. I just overreact.
Okay, so you're taking responsibility today. She didn't have a knife or nothing. You shot her after an argument.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about the simple rape charge you had prior to this? What was that about?
A girl I was messing with, I ain't paying her boyfriend told her, have me arrested.
I see you were found that they didn't prosecute the charge.
They dropped her.
About the to introduction of contrabands to a penal institution. I know that was a long time ago, 1985 and 1987. But what went on there? What were you doing? What were you trying to smuggle in?
I was in jail. I gave the dude some weed, marijuana.
Okay, so you were getting people to bring it to you and you were selling it or using it or both?
No, I got it from another guy in prison and I gave it to him. They caught me with it.
Yeah. Right. How many kids do you have?
4, 3 girls and 1 boy.
Are you still in contact with all of them?
Not my boy, but my girl, my daughter.
You still do talk to your daughters, okay?
Yeah.
All right. You have law enforcement opposition. You have a daughter, Nidra, that's in favor of you getting granted clemency. We had some other comments that were opposed to you getting clemency. What have you done while you've been in prison?
We took care of some of my girls, some worked in the harbor shop, some money home to some of my girls.
Okay, what's your job at the prison?
I worked at the silk screen 23 years.
Okay, you belong to any clubs?
No, sir.
Have you done any community service while you've been in the prison?
When I go to the rodeo, I just give, and other than that, I ain't did no service.
What kind of classes have you taken?
100 hours, substance abuse, CPR, anger management, AA.
Okay, did you have a drinking problem when you were on the streets?
No, sir.
How often did you drink?
Every weekend, on weekend.
Did you ever do illegal drugs?
No, sir.
I see you have your minimum custody status. Are you still able to work around the prison, or are you limited duty?
I'm able to work anywhere around the prison.
Okay, what do you do?
I work in the dog room at the silk screen. I photograph.
And how long you been doing that?
23 years.
23 years. Okay, you must have that down. You have very limited write-ups. You have 15 write-ups. Your last one was in 2003, which is a long time ago. It was for a 5 and a 27, disobedience. Where would you stay if you got out? I see the parole project here. No. What are your plans if you were to get out?
Work with my niece's husband. He got a job in the place for me to stay. Plus, I got a friend. He got everything for me that I need. He well taken care of.
Be well taken care of, huh?
I got him here with me today.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll be hearing from some of them in a little while. You had a lot of support letters as well as a lot of opposition. Warren, what can you tell us about Mr. Mitchell?
He's he's got 15 write-ups since October of '88, going up to December of '03. Nothing else after that. Yes, he has in fact been working as a screen for 23 years. He does have a couple of underlying medical issues. History of prostate cancer with surgery in August of '16. He's followed by primary care and urology. He basically, for us, like you said, he's done his time. He's done some courses. He goes to work, and that's been the last 23 years for him.
Thank you, Warden. Mr. O'Shea, you have a question?
Yes. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On the day of the murder on February 6, 1991, you encouraged, persuaded your brother Stephen to go out and purchase a 22 caliber pistol and a box of bullets. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That was at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock on the same date, you left your house where Stephen and your mother were, and you went to pick up your wife from work. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You brought your wife back to your home. You picked up the gun that Stephen had purchased for you, and you shot your wife twice in the head. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
And why did the story come about, the argument, your wife grabbing a knife and you were protecting yourself?
Really, we were arguing when I shot him.
But you purchased the gun
I
an hour before you went to pick up from work.
I purchased a gun after I came from paying some bill. I ain't bad to shoot her. I bought it, you know, because I didn't have my ID. I had my brother that signed for me to get it.
Sir, it's hard for me to believe that you persuaded your brother at 1 o'clock to purchase a gun and get a box of bullets. And then you pick up your wife, and at 2 o'clock, you shoot your wife in the head twice. It sounds like it was premeditated to me. So tell me what happened.
Well, I got out from work and I went by my mother's house and picked up my kid. We went at down. And I went and paid one of my notes on my plan.
Sorry. Why did you kill your wife?
But we had different love affairs. I wasn't intending to shoot my wife. We got to arguing and I shot him.
Thank you, sir.
Let's hear from Willie Ross. Mr. Ross.
Yes, sir. This man.
You can sit
I'm
in.
sorry, Willie, Ms. Ross. Ma'am, would you-
That's why I was trying to.
Oh, okay.
Well, you
Okay.
can go
That's
sit right in the
fine.
chair up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
I have a hearing problem.
Ms. Ross, why don't you give us your full name and tell us your relationship with Mr. Mitchell? It says here that you're a member of the victim's family. Is that correct?
I'm a what?
Member of the victim's family.
Oh, his daughter and I, she was just like my daughter-in-law. She was,
All right. Well, why don't you tell us what you'd like us to know?
yeah, she was going with my son, but my name is Whitby Ross.
Okay.
And I've been knowing him. Matter of fact, I went to school with his two brothers. They're younger than him, Larry and Ray. And I've been knowing him a long time. I've been coming to Angola ever since I was like 12 years old, all the way up to now. And I'm 66 now. And I watch him and I observe him through the years, how his life had changed and how he had got better and better and how he regret. I came up here with his daughter Nene, and I watch her and observe the love he had for her and how she loved him and how he really, really feel regret that he did that. And if he could have changed it, he would have changed it. But I'm the type of person, I believe that everybody deserves a second chance. He made a mistake, he owned up to that responsibility. And that's the thing I love about him. He owned up to his wrong. He didn't try to cover it up. He knew he was wrong what he did. And if he could have changed it and changed the time, he would have, sir. But like I said, I've been knowing, and I feel like that, 42 years, he done learned a lesson. I believe Angola helped him a lot, not because he locked down, because he wanted help. He wanted.
Good. Thank you very much.
He pushed himself to change. And he worked, yes, sir, he working on everything. Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You through with
Thank you
me?
very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just have a seat.
Let's hear from Miss Linda Taylor. Ms. Linda Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Tell us what you'd like us to know about your cousin.
I am Linda Taylor. Donald Mitchell is my first cousin. Our mothers were sisters. Donald cannot right the wrong of the past offense that he committed. Although he has acknowledged the seriousness of his offense and does apologize to society, the deceased family, and his family. His mother is deceased at this time, but he has two elderly brothers and an elderly sister that needs him. Our family's prayer is that he has served his time, but the offense that he committed, and that he be allowed to serve the remainder of his life as a free man. With that being said, I'm willing to support him any way possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we'll hear from either Ms. Traynor or Ms. Francis, one of the two. Who would you like to speak, Mr. Mitchell?
Either one of them, both
All
of them.
right. All right, why don't we hear from your aunt, Ms. Shirley Traynor? Ms. Traynor?
It's on mute.
Hi, I'm here. Hi,
Ms. Traynor, if you would introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your nephew.
yes, my name is Shirley Traynor, and I am Donald's aunt. His mother and I were sisters, and my memories of Donald were years ago when we were both younger people. I'm about 3 years younger than Donald, I believe. And I'm very sorry about what happened. I've always loved him. I have not been in communications with him, but he is my nephew. I've spoken with his mother over the years about him, and I'm sorry that I'm on here today. I'm related to him, and I'm related to the victims' children, and my heart goes out to everyone. But I want Donald to know that I'm in support of him if he's released. Anything that I could do for him, I'm willing to do it.
Thank
And
you. I'm sorry, I
that's-
didn't mean to cut you off. Are you finished?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Traynor. We appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from the opposition, Ms. Latoya Collins.
Hello,
Hi, Ms. Collins. Would you introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know?
am I allowed to speak my heart with my mind? Am I allowed to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. You can tell the board whatever it is you're feeling or whatever it is you'd like us to know.
I'm sorry, I am my mother's oldest child. I am Latoya, the oldest one. I'm speaking because that man is a liar. He's a child molester. And he know it. He knows the things he did. The reason why he killed my mother, because my mother found out that he was bothering me. They got into a big fight. I remember it. I never forget this. I never ever wanted to say it. I never. To this day, my family's on it. I'm sorry if I'm not ever telling y'all, because he lied to me. He lied to me as a child. It stopped when I was 7, because that's when he killed my mom. She knew she had to take me to the hospital because I was so bothered down there. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Forgive me. Don is not, he's only sorry because he got caught. When him and my mom got into it, she moved out from him and stayed with her mother on Carver Street. And they was arguing. I was sitting there, and she asked him, she said, "Have you been touching my baby?" He said, "No." And she asked me, she said, "Toy, I promise I will protect you." And I started crying because he told me before, if I told my mama, he was going to kill her. That's what he told me. So I never said that I lied to my mom. And he still lied because he took her life anyway. Do you know what it was like to live without a mother? No, you don't, because you had your mother. You had your chance with your mother. I was 7.
Ma'am, you need to direct your comments to the board. Do not speak directly to him.
I'm sorry.
All right. Okay.
We didn't have that chance to experience our mother. I was 7. Donna was 5. Brandon was 3, and our baby sister was only 6 months when our mother life was taken. My grandmother had to raise us all over again, teaching us things. I never ever forgot any of the things, how he used to beat our mother like a child. All the things, seeing him drunk day in and day out. It wasn't just a weekend thing, it was an everyday thing. He drunk Miller's Light. I remember these things. I am now 49. I'm soon to be 50. And these things, they have never ever left me. When Mother's Day come, I think about all those things. What if I had did this? What if I had said this? What if I had told this, or, just spoke? But as a child, you are a child. You're looking for the adults to protect you. Those things were taken away from us. We was raised by our grandmother and by our uncles and our aunts. We don't know the mother love of making macaroni necklaces for Mother's Day, for our mother, making the little cards for her. I have to be brave. I don't understand how we get this audacity to ask, to be free. My mother would never get up out that grave again. Never. She's in her resting place. She didn't get to see her grandkids. I have 2 lovely children. Donna has 3. Brandy has 3. Nidra has.
Ms. Collins, we have heard what you said. You need to wrap it up. We've had a long day. We've got a lot of other people we've got to interview today.
Once again, I apologize. But as of today, I do not feel that he's ready. No.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. We'll now hear from Mr. Dolphus McMillan. Mr. McMillan,
Yes, I'm here.
you'll introduce yourself, sir, and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Yes, my name is Dolphus McMillan. I am the victim's brother. I just want to say, based on the few things that I did hear from him, I did detect that there was a lot of lying. I do not feel that he is ready. I do not feel that he needs to be released. I don't feel that he's even accepted the damage that he has done to this family. He may feel that he's only taken the life of one person, but he actually changed the life of a whole family. And because of that, I just don't feel like he's ready. Even when he's saying that some of the things that he was saying, he has, to me, based on what I heard he said he's been doing, hasn't even been taking classes and doing things on the inside to change himself. So he have accepted who he is, and I'm going to accept who he is as well, a murderer.
Thank you very much, Mr. McMillan. We appreciate your comments. We'll now hear from Maria McMillan. Ms. McMillan, now you need to take it off of mute.
Yes. Can
Okay.
you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. If you'll introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Yes, I am Maria McMillan. My sister was Lois Lanita McMillan Mitchell, and the man that murdered her was Donald Earl Mitchell. And what I want to say is my sister was pregnant as well. I hadn't heard anybody say that. And she had a 6-month-old baby in her arms when he shot her. And my thing is, I've asked this question for 42 and a half years. How do a man that say he love a woman shoot her while she's looking at him with her 6-month-old baby in her arms and she's pregnant? And I have not got the answer to that question yet. He used to beat her. He used to mistreat the children. Now that I know, my niece had said some things, and I would apologize for crying out. But it's just so hurtful. And I feel like, again, he's not ready to be released. I just don't understand how, because he was in and out of jail the whole time that he was with her. She trusted him even when people told her not to marry him. She stayed with him and supported him, and he gave her the ultimate dislike. He took her life. And this is the second worst day of my life. The first worst day of my life was when he took her life. He killed a child. He killed my sister, and he could have killed that baby. And his brother Ray bought that gun. Why would you buy a gun when you know your brother and his wife is fighting? I don't understand that. And I probably never will, but I know God will give me the answer eventually. And what I again say is to the board, when you make your decision, if you don't think about the family, think about that unborn child that did not have a chance to have a life because he was so selfish. He took her life and that ended the child's life. Therefore, we as a family, we've been suffering for 40 some years. And I don't know how many more years I'll be here, but I'm quite sure I'll take this to my grave as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments, ma'am. We appreciate it. Mr. Mitchell, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Yes, sir. I took our responsibility for the crime I committed. I'm deeply remorseful for the family, the victim, for friends, the community. And I thank everyone that supported me. That's about it.
Thank you, sir.
Second.
Been a motion and a second for executive session. Is there any opposition? No, okay. We will go into executive session to discuss matters of a confidential nature. The time is 5:12. We're going to be at recess just for a few minutes. We'll be right back with our decision. Board is called back into session. The time is 5:16. The board is ready to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, you know, I'm not saying you were totally honest with us today, but we also got to look at the man you are today. And we also look at the threat we think you would have on society. You're 69. You've been in jail 42 and a half years. You have a great disciplinary record. You've been at the same job for 23 years. My vote today would be grant and commute your sentence to 50 years.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Ms. Jackson?
My vote is the same for the same reason.
Mr. Roche?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes, sir.
you have not been honest with us. You just will not tell us exactly what happened. And that shows a lack of rehabilitation. The first step towards rehabilitation is to own up what you've done. Tell us exactly and take full responsibility. You have not done that today. You have opposition from the entire legal community, the judge, the DA's office, the sheriff's office. And you have adamant opposition from the victim's family. Based on all, I'm going to deny your request.
Mr. Mitchell, you have 2 votes to grant, 1 vote to deny. My vote would be to grant as well, but it requires a unanimous vote today. And unfortunately, you didn't get a sufficient number of votes to get a recommendation from us. Continue the hard work. You're working hard. Perhaps next time you might get a more favorable vote, but good luck to you, sir.